First of its kind in Ibadan, constantly on the green, giving you the best of broadcasting 24 hours. Agidigbo 88.7 FM, the people's voice.
There's a lot to digest and a lot of voices to be heard. Stick to the frequency that amplifies those voices, stories and reports that make the difference. This is Agidigbo News, 88.7 FM, the people's voice.
This is Kunle Amzat Studio. Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening. Welcome to the news around the world on Agidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan, the most listened to radio station. I am Oluwatosin Ologun. First deadlines. On World Hepatitis Day, doctor says hepatitis threat persists. Governor Makinde inaugurates Judicial Commission to probe abduction of pupils, teachers in Orire. Hamas signals conditional agreement to disarm under Trump's Board of Peace plan. Spanish officials say most migrants who cross the border have returned. Flying Eagles beat Togo 3-0 to reach WAFU B under-20 semi-finals. Now the details. Hepatitis remains a major public health concern affecting hundreds of millions of people worldwide and causing both acute and chronic liver disease. Financial constraints, stigma and discrimination, weak healthcare systems, and unequal access to prevention, testing and treatment continue to leave millions without the care they need. As the world marks World Hepatitis Day 2026, Agidigbo FM News correspondent Latifat Oladejo reports on the World Hepatitis Day. Here's the report.
Viral hepatitis causes over 1.3 million deaths each year, which can be compared to the fatalities of tuberculosis and higher than HIV and AIDS. In addition, more than 300 million people worldwide are living with chronic hepatitis B or hepatitis C. Most people living with viral hepatitis remain undiagnosed because the infection often presents no symptoms until advanced liver damage, such as cirrhosis or liver cancer, has developed. There are 5 types of viral hepatitis: hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, hepatitis D, and hepatitis E. Each is caused by a different virus that affect the liver and leading to inflammation and illness. In commemoration of the World Hepatitis Day, medical practitioner Dr. Benson Oyema explained the meaning of hepatitis.
Hepatitis simply means an inflammation of the liver. The liver is one vital organ that is responsible for a lot of functions in the body. It is located right here at the right upper quadrant region. And liver is responsible for filtering of toxins in the body, production of proteins that are required for the architecture of the body.
Also speaking with Agidigbo FM, Dr. Isalu Benson also talked about the condition regarding hepatitis.
For hepatitis B, C, and D, they are literally contracted through similar methods, and they are spread through infected blood and bodily fluids. And this bodily fluid can be gotten from unprotected sex. You can get infected blood from sharing of needles, razor blade, which is otherwise called sharps. And also, a baby could contract hepatitis B, C, and D from the mother if the mother has it.
Dr. Benson also enlightened the public on the symptoms of hepatitis and ways to prevent the disease.
For hepatitis A and E, they can be treated by just supportive care and then just observe while it runs its course and then it goes away. Remember I told you they are self-resolving, so those ones with the body's immune system, they can actually be treated. But then for hepatitis B and D, those are the ones that are non-treatable.
Despite the availability of effective vaccine, tools and treatment, viral hepatitis remain a leading cause of liver disease and liver cancer, resulting in thousands of preventable deaths every day. The challenge facing the world today is not the lack of scientific knowledge or medical solution, but the urgent need for greater public awareness, stronger healthcare system, equitable access to prevention and treatment services. Latifat Oladejo, Agidigbo FM News.
The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has said that the decision to call for an independent examination into the abduction of teachers and pupils in Orire local government area was not intended to undermine the effort of security agencies, but to establish the facts surrounding the incident and strengthen accountability. Governor Makinde said this while inaugurating the Judicial Commission of Inquiry on the abduction of students and teachers from Esiele and Yawata communities in Orire local government area of Oyo State. Inaugurating the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into the abduction of students and teachers from Esiele and Yawata communities in Orire local government area of Oyo State, Governor Makinde said the abduction of innocent school children and their teachers was not merely an attack on the affected schools and communities, but an assault on every Nigerian child's right to learn in a safe environment.
The assignment of this commission is clear: to establish the facts, identify any institutional or operational lapses, recommend measures that will strengthen the protection of our schools and communities, and help ensure that such a tragedy never happens again.
In an interview with the chairman of the Judicial Commission, Professor Mojid Owade, vowed to ensure transparency in the report delivered by the committee.
And nothing but the truth. That is all I can say. Because when I was called, I was assured that those that will work with me are people of great experience and the highest integrity. And I've met them, and I believe that. So that in unraveling the truth, Nigerians should be assured that there will be no disappointment.
The 8-member Judicial Commission of Inquiry is chaired by Professor Mojid Owade. Other members include Professor Jibril Ibrahim, Mrs. Ayo Obe, AIJ Ungozi Onodeko, retired, Mrs. Abimbola Orogade, and the Secretary of the Commission is Mrs. Olamide Sandra Tela. The Chief Imam of Agidigbo FM Central Mosque, Alhaji Zakaria Yunus Baba, has urged traders and people of all religions to be truthful, especially those who sell goods by measurement. In a sermon, Alhaji Zakaria Yunus Baba quoted verses from the Holy Quran, stressing that anyone who cheats in measurement will face punishment from Almighty Allah.
Making from the central veil and skill. We have to
The Chief Imam further explained that both truthfulness and cheating have their rewards, encouraging everyone to be honest in all their dealings, especially traders who sell goods by measurement, and be reminded that Allah rewards those who are truthful. Now it's time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Hulamza Studio at Gidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Olushola Damnola. Prime Minister Andy Bohan will give all mayors of city regions in England a share of income tax revenue for the first time as part of his drive to transfer power from Westminster to local leaders in their areas and gain greater control over services such as housing, although with more details to be announced when Chancellor John Healey delivers his first budget in the autumn. However, opposition parties said the plans lack details and could lead to areas with weaker economies losing out on funding. US President Donald Trump said the Board of Peace has reached an agreement for the complete disarmament of Hamas and other armed groups in Gaza. A senior Hamas official has told the journalist that the group has agreed to the Board of Peace plan to finally disarm in Gaza and that an official statement will be released soon. Trump said the agreement marked a major milestone in the implementation of the Trump 20-point plan. While he thanked the mediators countries, the US president announced that Israel will withdraw from Gaza when the process by a new Palestinian government. And that ends the news from Hulamza Studio at Gidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Olushola Damlola.
Welcome back. We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat Studio, Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya. U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday defended his proposed anti-weaponization fund as a standoff with fellow Republicans in the Senate continued to delay the confirmation of acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche as the permanent Attorney General, as scheduled to leave office. He also reiterated his support for the proposed $1.8 billion fund, arguing that it was intended and whose lives had been severely harmed as a result. Republican Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis have blocked Blanche's nomination while seeking written assurances that the Justice Department will not establish the anti-weaponization program. Critics of the proposal have described it as a slush fund that could be used to reward Trump supporters with taxpayers' money. Spanish officials said on Friday that tens of thousands of migrants have entered Ceuta, the small Spanish territory in North Africa, where a surge of people crossing the border from Morocco has left nearly 3 dozen people dead and created a political crisis for Spain's pro-immigration program. Some 60,000 people were estimated to have entered the territory since Thursday, said Juan Jesus Viva, in a territory with a population of about 83,000 residents. In the fast-moving scene, Spain's Interior Ministry had a somewhat lower estimate. The figures were released as Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez of Spain arrived in Ceuta that deceived many young people, many of whom ultimately lost their lives. He said 400 more police officers had been sent to Ceuta's border with Morocco. And that ends the news from Kule Amzat Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya.
Welcome back once again. In the exciting world of sports, the Flying Eagles beat Togo 3-0 to secure a place in the semi-finals of the WAFU B Under-20 Championship, extending Nigeria's perfect start to the regional tournament. Defending champions Nigeria produced another commanding display to record their second consecutive victory, following an impressive 4-2 triumph over Ghana in their opening Group B encounter. The comprehensive victory also sealed Togo's elimination from the competition after the Sparrow Hawks had previously suffered a 3-1 defeat against Burkina Faso earlier in the tournament. Nigeria emerged after the restart with renewed determination and immediately found a breakthrough just 1 minute into the second half through prolific striker Moise Adeleke's composed finish. To wrap up the news this evening, here's a recap of the headlines. Doctor says hepatitis threats persist. Governor Makinde inaugurates Judicial Commission to probe abduction of pupils, teachers in Orire. Hamas signals conditional agreement to disarm under Trump's Board of Peace plan. Spanish officials say most migrants who crossed the border have returned. Flying Eagles beat Togo 3-0 to reach WAFU B Under-20 semi-finals. And before we go this evening, here's a quick tip. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on our Gidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan, the most listened to radio station. I am Oluwatosin Ologun. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, OISEC, has called for continuous collaboration.
We bring you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
Southwest Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed every hour, every day.
Agidigbo 88.7 FM, the people's voice.